Hello, everybody, and welcome. Hope you're having a great day today. So, I was just on Twitter and checking out Twitter, just trying to find really cool things to put into a couple of React videos today. Cool stuff, animal stuff, foodie stuff, little tidbits here and there. And I found something with a friend's help, of course. A friend alerted me to something that I should look at. Once I saw it, I'm like, wow, I am really, really impressed with the things this person had to say because they had to say a lot. And there was so much truth in this Twitter post and the thread that I want to make it into a video and share it with the rest of you because it needs to be heard. So, for those of you that are a part of the Chantal Foodie Beauty community, you guys have been keeping up with all of her shenanigans, then perhaps you're aware that there is someone new that has entered into the picture. And her name is Quirkyloverosee. And she has a channel of her own. She's doing her own content. And she had a lot to say about Foodie. And she did it all in a post. So I want to cover the post and read the post in full and then go over the post with my thoughts. And I'm going to leave a link for Quirky's channel in the description if you want to check her out. So, what did Quirky have to say about Foodie? Quite a bit. So many truth bombs in this post that I'm like, wow, I got to make a video. So much truth here. So there is Quirky Love Rosie on Twitter. I'm going to read the entire post with the threads. I'm not going to interrupt Quirky. I'm going to save that for after I'm done reading the whole thing. But this is what Quirky has to say about Foodie and her content that she's doing these days. Quirky says, as someone diagnosed with BED and an active therapeutic treatment, this FB arc is beyond infuriating. She is profiting off triggering people's EDs, spreading misinformation, while also making a spectacle of herself on a mainstream platform. I'm going to continue in a thread. Her making this content, stating that she isn't bingoing, while actively eating portions of food that I would have consumed when I made feedy content in the past, and speaking like she has an authority to educate on those topics is disgusting, beyond reproach. She couldn't resist that weird, crappy, insensitive edit either. I'm certainly not perfect. I have a past of profiting off my eating problem, but even when I did this, I had the sense to keep it behind a paywall and make sure it was accessible. It wasn't accessible on a platform like YouTube. I'm not surprised that a bigoted, animal blanking butt is making a butt of herself in a more sanitized way because she has a husband who expects a level of perceived morality for religious reasons. But it's all performative to begin with. I never truly saw Foodie Beauty content until after SQR reacted to my content and I joined a couple of streams. Watch her on her most recent live and how dismissive she was about the stray cat proved to me just how performative that vlog was to virtual signal. I'm going to have to pull away watching reaction streams because her content is literally triggering my diagnosed ED. I'm newer to leaving other corners of the internet, but I just needed to voice my take here because she made another comment I have something to say on regarding other big women in reaction communities. She can't wrap her head around the fact that other big women being critical of her is based in behavior and not bodies. I'll never speak of her appearance, regardless of my opinion on it, because of her behavior has been and will always be atrocious. People like her and ALR have directly made my experience in the internet more difficult because I get compared to them so heavily, even well before I had a YouTube channel or presence online elsewhere. Foodie Beauty thrives in raging and attacking until the fire is on her, then suddenly it's, oh, why can't us big women get along? We don't claim you. Your behavior is what fostered your behavior is has words. Your actions are what define you. I walked away from the public internet for about 5 years, and in that time did about 2 or 3 years of EMDR therapy and other treatment. People like you aren't going to heal while you monetize food. People like us, it's the only thing to show yourself cooking, not eating a bite of meal you've made, showing a snack or whatever, because all humans have food and lifestyle content. But to mukbang and talk about BED is disgusting. You're probably never going to see this, and that's fine. But I'm saying this not for her, but to vocalize my thoughts on this. I'm glad I spent so much time avoiding her content, even through reactions. She's dangerous to people with food issues and a disgrace to the platform. And normally I'd say do better, but I know it won't happen. She's incapable, especially if she won't entertain getting professional help. I just went in a bit of a rant, but I've never fully gone into my opinion of her because I have nothing nice to say. Then she adds, sorry for the typos. I was on a roll. You know, Quirky, I don't know you, ma'am, but I applaud you. I applaud you for going into treatment. I applaud you for seeking help. I applaud you for doing better. This is something that Foodie should be doing. This is something that Foodie could be doing if she cared about herself. She has the time, she has the tools, she has the resources, she has the energy to fix herself, and she won't because she's too busy monetizing her issues. And worse, with her being on YouTube and putting everything out there on a public platform, I agree, she is triggering people. She may not see those people, she may not have any contact with those people, but anyone who has ever dealt with any kind of ED, watching someone like Foodie, the possibility of being triggered by her is very, very strong. And for anyone who watches my content or Foodie content, if you have an ED in any form or any issue in any form, and you find yourself getting triggered by Foodie, the best thing you can do is just turn away. Always take care of your health and your well-being. Don't worry about Foodie Beauty because honestly, there's nothing that any of us can do for her anyway. She's got to help herself. But let me give my thoughts now to this well-written, well-spoken post. Let's see. She's profiting off of triggering people's EDs, spreading misinformation. This is true. She has been spreading misinformation. We are now in that arc where Foodie is acting like she knows everything about nutrition, about taking care of yourself. But, let logic come into the picture for just a moment. If Foodie was so incredibly knowledgeable about nutrition and taking care of herself, why is she in such bad health? When we're talking about a woman that has trouble breathing, has trouble walking, can't really go anywhere, can't do anything, if she is so stock full of knowledge, why is she so unhealthy? She is not seeking treatment nor therapy of any kind for any of her issues. She's not even seeking treatment or therapy for her health problems. So, should anyone be taking any kind of medical or health advice from this woman? Absolutely not. She is sick and she's making herself worse. So, medical advice, health advice, life advice, don't seek it from Foodie because guaranteed you won't be getting good advice. Foodie's idea of learning is going online and Googling stuff for 5 minutes, and then whatever she finds out, she spits out on her live streams. Making a spectacle of herself on a mainstream platform. Well, she's turned her channel into a three-ring circus, and she is the main star. Again, she doesn't have to. If the thinking Foodie is, if I change my content, I will lose. my audience, your audience might change, but it would be for the better. To get an audience behind you that they want you to be healthy and they want you to be truly happy would be a good thing. But to get an audience behind you and the people in that audience, all they care about is getting their fetish fulfilled and they don't care how it affects you personally. That's not the audience you want. Trading 100% of your health for a paycheck is never a good idea. You did a video recently, I believe it was this one, the Domino's pizza video, where you were trying to sell to people that I do these videos and the food practically pays for itself because you are eating food, and because you're doing these videos, the videos pay for the food. And I've said this in another react. So the videos pay for the food. But what about the other hidden costs that you're not talking about? By overeating, by exploiting your problem, there's another price tag. And the price tag is how it affects your health. Not being able to move, not being able to do things. That's the other price tag. And that price tag is much more expensive than the receipts you get from Domino's. Let's see. Her making this content stating that she isn't bingoing while actively eating portions of food that I would consume when I made the Foodie content in the past, and speaking like she has an authority to educate on those topics is disgusting. Yes, I agree that too. Going on to here, Quirky talking about how she had the sense to put it behind a paywall. So I don't know all in your business, Quirky, but I imagine that it was a site, maybe OnlyFans or something like it. If Foodie wanted to do the food content, that's fetish content, and that belongs on a site that specializes in that. And that way, those who want to see it, those who want to pay to see it, they would go there. But Foodie is doing the fetish content on YouTube, has been doing it for years. So those who are not aware that food could be a fetish for some people, they're just watching a foodie video, thinking they're just watching somebody who just eating a meal, and then they see something out of control and they're not understanding what they're looking at. That Foodie has always been about that life of, honestly, guys, she's turned her channel, or trying to turn her channel, into nothing but a fetish channel. And she includes many different fetishes, many of them. She's always trying to grab at different genres because in that world, fetish guys do pay well. For those who are wondering, like, what are you talking about, Rose? Let's go all the way back. Let's go all the way back in the Foodieverse. Anybody remember the Lakma Fairy? That was somebody who paid her for a request. Anybody remember that whole month that she ate paneer? I'm pretty sure that was a request. Anybody remember the torrid hauls that she did? Did anybody pick up or remember how when she would buy 4 or 5 items of clothing, most of those didn't fit? I always thought that was weird. Like, she would hold up 4 items that were a 3X when clearly she wasn't a 3X. And then she would show us the one item that she would wear to death until it practically stood up by itself. She'd buy one thing that fit her and the rest would not fit her. Why do you think that is? It's because guys who are into the food, they like to see people who are big struggle to get into clothing. That's part of their fetish. She had people sending her stuff to her house through Amazon. So that subset of people, they were paying for her clothes. They were paying for her food. They would buy her meals. She was catering to them then. She even got caught on a site where she had a profile catering to that. And then that profile disappeared. And then one of her customers actually came into her live stream and said, I had a great time last night, and then he got deleted. In my opinion, I think Foodie has been pushing on the gas pedal to bring as many of those people back to her channel now as possible. And that's what all these fast food meals are about. She's doing fetish content where she should not be doing fetish content. She's doing it on a public forum where people are looking at it and they're taking it one way when it's really another. And it's inappropriate. You should never monetize your problem with food, especially in the public eye, because you are triggering people. So Quirky's saying that when she did this kind of content, she put it behind a paywall. And the only way you could see it was to pay for it. Whereas Foodie is putting it out in the public eye and people are seeing it and getting triggered. Let's see. She has a husband who expects a level of perceived morality for religious reasons. I don't know how religious Salah is. I imagine he can't be too much so because he's allowing all this stuff to go on. He's not putting a stop to it. Although even if he did, let's be real. When you got an issue like that, it's over your head. It's over the head of your partner. You need professional help. She needs to be an inpatient. She'll never go there because if she went into inpatient, she could not take her phone. She could not film everything going on. She couldn't continue to be on YouTube this way. Hence the reason why she's not going to do it. She wants to continue going on the way that she is and just have the freedom to make money off of whatever she does. And somebody telling her, no, you can't put this on YouTube. No, you can't monetize this. No, you can't go into a therapy session and film everybody and put people's faces on camera. It's not going to fly. It's absolutely not going to fly. Okay, let's moving on. Reaction streams to her content is literally triggering my diagnosed ED. I'm sorry that's triggering you, Quirky. I'm someone that I've dealt with BED, mine's in recovery. I'll be honest with you. I hate this whole arc. I do. I hate not just watching her eat. I don't want to watch her eat. What I hate more is how I know it's probably triggering people and hoping that everybody's okay. Like I don't understand Foodie's thinking of something being against YouTube policy, and that's the thing you want to make into an arc, knowing that YouTube has a problem with it, but yet she's just that determined to profit off of something wrong with her rather than fix it. Even with YouTube putting down their foot and saying, you can't do this. We're not going to allow you to do this. Foodie is very rebellious, and you tell her not to do something that'll make her want to do it more. So I'm wondering if that plays into it. But I'm sorry that she is potentially triggering you, Quirky. Remember, please take care of yourself, protect yourself. Your health is important, and that goes for everybody else out there. Like I want this whole educational Foodie, follow my advice, speaking about BED even at the same time that she's abusing hers. I don't like it. I freaking hate it. She can't wrap her head around the fact that other big women being critical of her is based in behavior and not bodies. I'll never speak ill of her appearance, regardless of my opinion on it, because her behavior has been and will always be atrocious. Yeah, it's about her behavior. Foodie tries to use the defense of, they are coming at me because of the size of my body. She doesn't want to acknowledge that it's about her behavior, her personality. She tries to use her size as a shield and say, that's the reason, that's the entire reason. They hate on me because I'm big. Foodie, let me point something out to you. There is another person on YouTube, Candy, hungry fat chick. She's a big lady too. But Candy is really, really nice. She's got a wonderful personality. Notice the reaction channels don't have anything bad to say about Candy. Nobody's spoke ill of Candy. As a matter of fact, Candy's been doing really, really, really well, y'all. Fantastic. Hungry Fat Chick, Candy, she's been on the carnivore diet, and I just heard around the way that she's lost 33 pounds. That's fantastic, Candy. Well done, ma'am. Well done. Applause. Applause everywhere for Candy. Applause. Well done, madam. Keep going with that. I know you're going to feel better. But with Foodie's logic, she's saying that if you're a big woman or man on YouTube, just because of that, the reaction channels are going to go for you. That's her default. Oh, it's my size. That's the problem. No, it's your behavior. It's the way you talk to people. It's the way you carry yourself on YouTube. That's what everybody is the most bothered over, Foodie. And Foodie, if you're thinking that somebody else on YouTube, because you're big and somebody else is big, and because you're both big, you should just agree with each other and that person should co-sign on your nonsense just because they're big too. Wrong. Wrong. Size has nothing to do with it. Atrocious behavior is atrocious behavior. And anybody's free to call it out, especially if you put it in the public eye. You, Foodie, you decided to make a channel on YouTube on a public platform. You wanted to make money off the public, therefore, you put your content in a public form. It's not private. And what that means is anybody in the public can comment, have their opinions, have their feelings, and it doesn't matter what size they are. You're saying, I'm putting this on the floor. Everybody look at it. Everybody watch it because I want the views. I want that Google AdSense money because you chose to put things on a public forum. The public can say what they want, whether they're of a smaller size, a bigger size, male, female, anybody can comment. You wanted to find a workaround for doing fetish content. You did not want to go and put that fetish content in a private place where only those who are seeking it out could see it. You chose to put it on a public platform because you wanted to make the most money and because you didn't want to have a lot of competition. So here we are. Because of the way that you chose to go about things. So you really can't complain about people calling you out for your stuff, can you? And here, Quirky's calling you out right now, and I support this. So Quirky is right. It's not about her body size. Her body size is her issue. It's about her behavior. It's about the things she says, about the things she does. And one of the main reasons why I started reacting to you, Foodie, was as someone I've dealt with BED, did not like and wanted to call out the fact that you were monetizing something you had no business monetizing. No business at all. And I've always thought it was wrong, and I've always said so. People like her and ALR have directly made my experience in the internet more difficult because I get compared to them so heavily. I'm sorry that's happened, Quirky. But you know what? You have your channel on YouTube. If you're showing us different content, if you have a different attitude and you're taking a different direction, people are going to see that there's a difference there. So there's that. Foodie Beauty thrives in raging and attacking until the fire is on her. The sunlight's like, oh, why can't us big women get along? But that's, Quirky, this is what Foodie does. Foodie loves to kick the hornet's nest. She does. She's always, her content has been, for years, it's always been about drama. It's been about controversy. She's got a problem with attention. A lot of people think her number one problem is food. It's actually attention. She's got to get all the attention in the room. The spotlight's going to be on her and nobody else. So she doesn't get the attention through positive content. It's always been about negative content, shock, drama, just making everybody angry or grossed out. She loves to kick that hornet's nest. She'll run up to it, kick it, run away. I don't know why everybody's mad at me. I don't know why you guys are so triggered. That's Foodie. That's always been Foodie. Even though there are people in her audience that have urged her to get healthy, it's boring to her. She hates to be bored. You know, she wants to live on the edge of everything. She wants to be extreme about everything. It's always been her. But you're right. She does thrive in raging and attacking. She's got an anger problem, our Foodie. She loves to be angry. In my opinion, it's because that's when she feels the most alive. Either she's not doing anything and she's not feeling anything, or she's angry and she's feeling everything all at once. Uh, why can't us big women get along? We don't, biatch, we don't claim you. Your behavior has what fostered your hate. I'm going to say something about that. This is just my feelings, my thoughts. I'm going to put that out there right now. This is how I think. I think once upon a time, there was a person, her name was Chantal Marie. I think way back in the day, when her channel first started, there was an actual person. And then, over the course of time, that person started to disappear. And instead of the person came the persona, the character, Foodie Beauty. Now, you can be a person and have an online persona. What you should not do is let the persona take completely over. You got to have that line in the sand of I'm a person off camera and a persona on camera. And the two, they've got to have their boundaries. You can't let one overtake the other. Foodie started out as Chantal Marie. And then she full time became Foodie Beauty. She wanted to live in that persona all the time. Because, in my opinion, Chantal Marie was alone, didn't have many friends. He was a bit awkward. But the character, Foodie Beauty, had a YouTube channel, 90 something K subscribers, could make lots of money, could turn on the camera anytime she wanted, and people would want to talk to her. She invested so much time and effort and thought into the persona and nothing into the actual person. And she abandoned Chantal Marie for the favor of Foodie Beauty. You guys get it? So the persona took over and she became a living caricature of herself. And because of the persona taking over, the person, Chantal Marie, her life became a complete, absolute mess. To the point where the persona did not want to acknowledge the person. I know this might be a bit weird to sound, but just think about it this way. A person who's an actor or an actress, they get on stage, they play a part, but then after their part is over, they go backstage, they put their clothes on, and they go out into the street and they are who they are. Foodie doesn't want to get off stage. She wants to be on stage 24/7. That's when she feels the most alive, and that's where she has the most importance. And her life is a mess because of it, because of the persona and not taking care of the person. Your actions are what define you. Yes, true. I walked away from the public internet for about 5 years, and in that time did about 2 or 3 years of EMDR therapy, another treatment. I applaud you for that, Quirky. Well done. People like you aren't going to heal while you monetize food. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. What have I been saying? What have I said in my React videos? So many times. What have I said, y'all? You can't heal in the same environment that you hurt in, can you? How can you heal a problem At the same time, you monetize a problem and you give it a job. You can't. You really can't. And here is Quirky saying the same thing. Same thing. It's impossible to heal a problem if you're making money off of it and you continue to make money off of it. And anybody been watching Foodie, you know that she's not slowing down, she's speeding up. We've all seen how unhealthy she is. Who knows what's going on with her? Only a doctor would know, only a therapist would know. But she's not seeking out that which would help her truly heal. She's seeking out that which will continue to hurt her. She thinks it's a big joke. It's not a joke, Foodie. You're getting online. You're hurting yourself. And you're looking to get paid for it. And there are people that are watching your content, potentially getting triggered. You shouldn't be doing this. Hurting yourself and hurting others this way is incorrect. And Quirky is someone that she's struggled with a BED. And even she is saying, I've gotten triggered by Foodie. I get it. So I don't like Foodie doing the content because of that reason. I know of other people, they've said they started getting triggered by Foodie. And here's somebody else saying it. So this is how you're affecting other people, Foodie. And you claim to be an empath, which I don't believe. But if you had any kind of feeling in your soul, you would stop and think about what you're doing, not just to yourself, but to others. Like what you're putting out there, how it affects others. And BED is quite serious. I love this comment from Kirby. Kirby says, I honestly never thought about how horrible a trap she is laying for people with BINGO, leading them there with BINGO or BINGO free in the title, and then it being a mukbang sounds beyond triggering and even cruel to other people with BINGO. Thank you for speaking on this. Thank you for saying that too, Kirby. So for those people who are getting on YouTube and maybe they're just trying to find areas of YouTube that are good for them, and then they see a title from Chantal, oh, like I'm in recovery, I'm trying to get in recovery and recovering myself, and this is a BINGO free video, and then they see her just going to town on the food. It is a horrible trap. It is cruel. It is rude. And yet she continues to do it. Shouldn't happen. Shouldn't happen at all. Unrefined Queen says, preach, I'm in recovery too, and this is just gross and kind of abusive. She's abusing herself live on camera. I've been saying that for the longest. I've said that for the longest. It's self-harm content. But on top of hurting herself, she's hurting others by doing this. Yet YouTube does nothing. I don't know what she's done. I don't know what she said, but she's found a way to get around YouTube because she straight up does these things and YouTube just says, nope, we're not paying attention. So Quirky, that was a great post. That was a great Twitter post that you did. Thoroughly impressed by it. And before we leave, I would like to show you Quirky's channel. So you guys have a good look at it. I'm going to leave it in the description. There it is. You want to find it? I will leave it in the description. As you can see, she's done some videos here. You want to check her out. But thank you for doing that tweet, Quirky. You went all the way off, but you had a right to go all the way off. Because Foodie has been triggering people. You saying that in a tweet, you're not the first person to say that. You're not the first person I've heard that from. And enough is enough. This is nonsense. So I want to thank everybody for watching this video. And remember to please take care of yourselves out there. And thank you for being here. I'm going to go ahead and post this. Everyone, please have a good day.